Well, hello there, my little droid. Come closer. That's so bad. Coffee with curmudgeons. It's a Monday. I was just doing this.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Ooh.
Working on it. Well, we were going to put it on the mic, but we ran out of time.
Why, Doc? What is that?
Who's speaking? Where's my thing?
Oh.
Yeah, right there.
Who's speaking?
It is, ladies and gentlemen, folks. It's Special Agent, FBI Agent Tammy Preston.
Hey, call me Agent Preston.
I'm Tammy.
Oh, I'm just in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I figured swing by and put on the snazzy, brand new NuzBox button.
We tried to put it on the mics, right? Like, we do this 10, 15 seconds before we hit the button? Like as the thing's rolling, we're like doing stuff here.
I clocked it in today at a swift 7.5.
Yeah, I think you're accurate. I think you're accurate.
Yes.
It's Jason Allen.
Oh, it's me. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Monday.
Yeah. So we're still dealing with the technical things.
Well,
that's kind of how it's working, but that's okay. We figured out
it's a war of attrition.
Figured out what was going on over the weekend. The computer is fine. That's the good news.
Yes,
because that means that computers are expensive.
Just a little bit. They can be.
Yeah, but we'll just do a quick tech talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like 30 seconds, I promise. Okay, maybe a minute. There's a video capture card. And people know this now. A lot of people are on Twitch doing their games and stuff like that.
Right, we're taking screenshots.
And they have like a little picture-in-picture and a headset, and that's popular. In fact, one of these, we actually talked about doing something live on Twitch, just because we're not gamers. We could, I know how we'll do it.
The non-gamer gamer.
Yeah, we'll justify it. We'll do our talk show, but we'll just put a little screen in the bottom with the original Nintendo Wii playing tennis or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah, we could do that. So we could do something like that.
Right, little Mario Brothers down in the corner.
Xbox guys will be watching us live on the Xbox network. These guys suck.
Or what if we
go what they're doing?
Fully retro, like old Atari Pong.
Ooh. Okay, we're on this.
Or the little tank one, where you're tanking.
No, this is done. One of my favorites, Battlezone.
Battlezone.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
We're on it. We are on it. They have those classic Atari games. You can go to like what is it? Walmart, Toys R Us, Fred Meyer, I don't know. And it's just like a little tiny joystick or whatever, and the chip has, because those games, by today's standards, gigabytes, terabytes.
Yeah.
Those games are like 2 bytes big. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're little tiny. So they fit on like some little tiny chip. You could probably put one of those games. You know how you get a birthday card?
Yeah.
And you open it up.
And there's a little song.
A song and LEDs and stuff go off.
I like it.
You could probably open it up. You just have to find some cheap screen and have like asteroids and all that stuff going on. Because there's not a lot of data there.
No.
For those games.
No.
So that's perfect. We are going to do this. We're gonna do Twitch now.
It's now a quest.
We have to get back on Periscope first, okay?
Yeah.
Which is part of the problem. The machine that was doing the Periscope died, and it turned out everything.
You went full bore on it, right?
A+ tech certified. I don't know. I've been building computers since your father was in diapers. Anyway, but I even got out the volt because I thought maybe the power supply had died. So we're like 12.6 volts to 5.5. It's not that hard.
You shall live.
Basic electronics is not that hard, and you get
it is for me.
And you go to your, I guess you can't go to Radio Shack anymore, but you go to wherever fine electronics things are sold, or the Lowe's or whatever, I think actually has these too.
Really?
And you buy an electric multimeter. It's the one with the dial and the prongs and the voltage, and you just read and learn about it. And one thing you can do with it? You can test your batteries thoroughly. Because you put the multimeter on there, it tells you exactly how many volts your batteries are pushing out.
Gotcha.
So you can really tell, and you can check your car battery with. You got to be careful. You're dealing with. Yeah, you got to put the dial in the right place. But they're digital. They used to have like a little meter that you'd have to read, but now they just read it out digitally.
Yeah,
and it's handy. I mean, you can find out. You can go, is this thing working? I don't see any current there. Guess what I think my problem is? That's what you use, these multimeters. I don't have mine right here, but I should. And it's handy. And just testing batteries.
Yeah.
Going through, you have that drawer full of batteries.
Yeah.
That you're like, everyone has this, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, is this one good? Is that one good?
We had to go by the old lick system.
Oh, yeah.
Here, kid, lick the battery, see if it's,
Well, that's what we curmudgeons used to do back in the 70s.
And right. Is it good? Now you no wonder why all my kids twitch.
Yeah, exactly. I have lost the sense of taste and smell. I licked batteries when I was a kid.
But those batteries,
Dad was
work.
over there going, I gotta jump the car. Can you come over here with your tongue and see if the car is battery is live? No, kids, please don't do that at home. You will. Bad things will happen if you go licking your 12-volt car battery. Bad.
Jeez, I just called that father and son bonding.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I know. I've jumped. I've jumped cars in the last. A few months. Partly due to the weather. We had that severe cold weather, which what happens is a car sits, a battery drains. It's just kind of a phenomenon. It happens in cold weather. Yeah. Especially.
Extreme cold and extreme hot.
And if your battery's okay, usually you just need a jumper and get it charged back up when the weather's good, and you're on your way. And so I've had occasion to charge a few batteries. And you have, there's a whole, you got to be real careful because you got two ends of a 12-volt DC. DC. They say, Jason.
Red is hot, black is not.
Well, they say that, red is plus, hot, and black is ground.
Yes.
Common. So they say... The AC won't kill you. The DC will. Which is why we have AC current.
Right.
That's the whole... remember when they did electricity? When we brought in electricity, folks, into America. And Europe. And that was Edison, right?
Yes.
Con Edison and...
Con Ed, yeah.
They called him Con Edison because he was stealing ideas from every other person.
Yeah.
Well, it was Tesla had his electric, but it was DC.
Yeah.
Which is direct current, which means you make the circuit and the current flows this way.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's AC.
Alternating current.
Yeah. It goes this way, that way, this way, that way.
Yeah.
The thing is DC, when you make the current, and current flows. Well, if you, Jason, happen to be somewhere in line of that current,
yes,
that current's flowing right through Jason because we're a conductor.
We are.
We're full of water, electrolytes. We're full of salt.
Yes,
and electrolytes. Electrolytes are good conductors. We're good conductors. Bones are good conductors.
Right.
We're just good conductors.
We are.
So be careful with the live wires.
Well.
And DC. So we went AC because it helps a little bit.
Excellent. Yeah.
And there's nothing. Have you ever got a shock? By a live house wire.
Yeah, well, I remember one time it was AC/DC, and the next minute it's Highway to Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, how did that happen?
Oh boy, I think it was like as weird as it is, it's like a refrigerator. And for some reason there was some current passing.
It's always the refrigerator.
And you grab
Jason.
the refrigerator, and then you feel that hum that turns painful up the arm, and then you see God.
That would be it.
Yeah,
that would be the one. That would be it. Yep, I've had it happen a couple times.
Yeah,
and I'm very careful. Trust me, I'm not out there going, "Hey, let's see what happens when we pass electricity through our bodies."
What happens when I lick this?
Yes, exactly. It was same thing. The first one, I was a kid and I was house sitting some old people's house, And
it's always how it happens.
They had the setup where they had people have 2 refrigerators or a freezer or whatever,
sure.
and that's out in the garage.
Yep.
Right.
So
they got it against the wall in the garage.
Yep.
And
it's on concrete.
Yeah, it's their whatever. Yeah. Like it's their
utility fridge.
It was a utility fridge or their freezer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I go in there and to go out to the garage to check on something or whatever, and I'm taking care of their cat and their plants or whatever. I was taking care of their plants.
Oh, hey.
Me.
A fern needs supervision.
Yeah. I guess if you pay me, I'll water your plants. But anyway, their plants probably died after I took care of them, I bet. But so I go out in the garage, their garage, and interestingly, the lady's name was Joe, so it was Joe's garage.
Joe's garage. Imagine that.
Jamming in Joe's garage. Anyway, so I look for the light, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, where's the light switch? It's dark. I want
to
turn
you're
the light
reaching around.
on.
Yeah.
So I'm reaching around in the dark.
Yeah.
And usually, the refrigerator's here, but the light is usually right there.
Sure. Slide your
door,
hand back,
and there's a light.
Yeah.
There's a light switch.
Yeah.
Right next to the door frame. Well, there was a light switch there next to the door frame. Mm-hmm. Or there was something there.
But
so I reach around, put my hand in this space behind the refrigerator where the light switch. There's got to be a light switch here. Run my fingers slowly up the sheetrock. And my hand hits 2 live AC wires.
Oh.
Yeah.
Any sparks?
No sparks or anything. See, the good news is what happens if you have an extremity out like that.
Yes.
It just passes through the extremity.
Right.
Doesn't pass through the rest of your body. It kind of goes up. Like you said, you get this sensation. It goes up your arm, up your bone, and you're like, It's like nothing you ever... I think I was like... I think I made that.
Right,
I mean, it's that kind of thing. You make a noise that you've never... made before.
Yeah.
When you shock yourself on the AC.
Now you know the secret of the howling song. I just touched a couple wires and then...
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's right. So it goes, the current AC alternates through your hand and through your bones and your nerves. And, your nerves
your sinew.
Your nerves are electrical.
Yeah.
Like your brain and your nerves and stuff, that's actually an electrical system.
That it is.
So if you're passing through a bunch of heavy current through there, all kinds of crazy things happen.
A little system overload going on.
But I did it another time too, accidentally, and that time, and this is always bad when you're doing electrical or whatever, and it's like, we shut this circuit down, right? We go to the box, it's down, it's shut down. It's like, oh no, that one's live. What circuit was that now? It was like, oh man. And here's a secret. Here's a secret that they do.
Yeah.
One hand. When you go into like first shut your circuits down, confirm that they're down, get your multimeter out, check all the wires, nothing, no current.
Yeah.
Then work on whatever it is you need to work on, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The other thing is one hand if you can. And that's the secret, because 2 hands is bad. Here's what happens with 2 hands. Welcome to Electrical Contractor Safety with Doc Normal. We are not electrical contractors, but this is informational and for entertainment only.
That's right.
Anyway, but where you get into trouble with electricity is you have one hand here and one hand here. And you have a positive here and a negative here, or the 2 ends of the AC circuit. Yeah. And you touch, you make the circuit, and where does that circuit pass? Right through the old ticker.
One takes the high road, the other takes the low road.
Path right through that. I mean, this is what I learned as a Tenderloin Scout. This was part of our first aid about electrical shock.
Yeah. Tenderloin, come here, hold these wires.
Well, remember Emergency? You remember the
Johnny Gage, Roy DeSoto.
Right, one of my favorites, right?
Yeah.
Remember they had the paddles? They'd come out with those paddles. It's like,
clear.
My husband, he either choked on some meat or he's having a heart attack. It looks like he has a heart attack. And then they get the paddles up.
Yeah. They squirt that gel on it first,
Guy would jump 10
feet.
Boom, boom.
next thing you know, he's like belly flopping and everything's good.
And there are places, probably places here in Portland, buildings that have those paddles. Like they have first aid kits and stuff.
Yeah.
They have made that so that citizen first aid people, and it might be a good idea, I don't know, but you can hook it up.
Defibrillators,
It's all computer operated.
Yeah.
And so, you can save someone's life, like you have the CPR, but if somebody collapses and has a heart attack, if you have that in your kit, in your building, you can run, get it, hook them up. It'll do all the, it's computers. 2017 now. It's like a tricorder. Yeah. Could save a life, and it'll just defibrillate. I don't think it's like emergency. I don't think they put it on there. It's like, and the guy goes 10 feet up.
Yeah.
Because that would be totally cool. Wouldn't you be? We'd be working in the office, Jason and Doc, and be like, God, I hope someone has a heart attack. Right. And we'd be getting those paddles out. It's like, and the guy comes back like, oh, I'm feeling much better now. What do you think you need a tune-up? Let's do another one, right?
Right.
Let's watch this guy go sky high.
Mabel goes down in the middle of Casual Friday, and next thing you know, we're springing into action, Like, in My Name stops being Jason. It's like Roy DeSoto then,
Johnny Gage and the Roy DeSoto of Portland. Oh, my gosh.
And it don't matter that there's no one around us. I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, clear!
Yes!
Getting people back, just in case.
Literally all we're doing is showing up. I mean, some kid, cuts his finger. There's a cat up in the tree.
We're there.
Literally all we do is paramedics, you and I.
Yeah.
Doc DeSoto and Johnny Gage Allen.
You never know. We just may drive around after the show looking for random crisis,
But all we're there to do is use those paddles, man. It's just like, whoop, fingers lost. Let's get the paddles out.
That's right. We are here to help.
Get that cat. Let's get the paddles out. Wow!
Right, out of the tree.
Well, we got the cat out of the tree.
Right.
Yes.
We got indigestion from Subway. Man, we're clearing that right up for you. Yeah.
Because it was great, like on that TV show. Like literally, these people would jump like 3 feet high when they don't. You go, wow! I just want to. You're a little kid watching that on the show, and you're like,
do that once.
Man.
Yes, my favorite emergency episode ever is when they did a crossover and they visited the Sanford house. When after Sanford says, "Oh, Elizabeth," I'm kidding. I got the big one. Next, they come crashing through the door. Grady's getting thrown up against the wall. And there you go.
You got me there. I was right there. I haven't seen the crossover Sanford and Son episode.
What do you mean you've never seen that? How dare you? Next thing they can bust him through the door,
If we had time, that we never have, as we talk about video editing and things, this would be the one. Yes, and Sanford go, I'm coming for you. Here come Gage and DeSoto with the paddles. We're ready. Oh, no, I'm feeling much better. No. You need a tune-up.
And we'll end with Rerun in the corner going, damn!
Oh, my gosh.
What do you think?
Dynamite!
J.J. Walker, Dan Walker, and Dynamite!
They had crossover episodes, but usually it was like Adam 12. It was because it was all Jack... God bless you, Jack Webb.
Yeah.
Joe Friday. Yeah, you can't... See... I've got this place in my heart for Joe Friday, Dragnet, Adam 12.
Yes.
Emergency.
Yes.
I mean, he was the first. Jack Webb was the first to. He'd go down to L.A. and all the L.A. police would give him like awards, and the fire departments would give him awards, and he was all about the procedural.
Oh yeah.
And then throw in a little dialogue.
Just the facts, man.
Bill, what do you think about this robbery? I don't know, Joe. In all my years on the service, this is weird. I haven't seen something quite like this. Maybe the old lady was taking the money out of the cash registers. I know, Joe. I've been thinking about that too. But she has the grandson. The grandson.
Right.
Joe, what's wrong? My wife took in my pants too tightly. You're going to have to get that fixed, Joe. Let's go back to the station and talk to the cap about this. Okay.
Let's do it.
It would just be like something that mundane.
Oh, sure.
Those great ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love the Dragnet. Yeah, the old Dragnet.
Do you have a favorite episode? I've got a couple.
Oh, my favorite.
It's probably on my list, too.
The one where the LSD or whatever is the bomb or whatever it is. My favorite one, it's not episodes per se, but it's always when Joe is trying to be hip and talk to the kids. Oh. Because it's so painful. Because he doesn't call them kids. Oh, no. He always calls them youngster. Hey there, youngster. Come here for a minute. Yeah, Mr. Friday.
Oh.
You look like a clean-cut American kid. Youngster.
Hello, brother.
Yeah.
It'd be like, don't call me brother, Mr. White.
Right.
Creepy old Nixonian detective, please.
Exactly, Mr. Painful crew cut guy.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh. That's
awesome.
You know, we're missing. We will need to put in an order for some buttons.
Joe Friday.
Yeah.
Buttons.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
Dragnet buttons.
Dragnet. Come on.
We could. Oh,
come on.
The button could be like the badge.
Oh yes.
The badge like 816 or something.
That's right.
With the number on it, and we're just like.
That's right. If the youngsters don't get in line, it's not my problem.
Right.
When they do, I carry a badge.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
It'll also help when we're out in the area with our paddles. People will see the badge and like, oh, they're official.
Well, that always was weird as a kid.
Yeah.
It seemed as though Gage they had a badge. They had their fire badges.
They did fire badges.
Like nowadays, you see
there's no fire badges nowadays.
No. I mean, nowadays you kind of see maybe I don't know. Maybe like the Portland police. The Portland fire captain. Like,
bet you he's got a badge.
I think it's a she.
Well, I bet you she's got a badge.
So yeah, I think maybe like they might wear a nicer uniform,
Class A's,
maybe with the fire badge. But back in the day,
you wore it.
The fire. First, they had that funky hat. Let's talk about
those
that
hats.
Helmet.
I
right?
always wanted one of those hats.
With the thing, like the classic, they had that in emergency.
Yeah.
And then they would walk around and they'd have a fire badge. And as a kid, growing up, as a boy, as a privileged white
as a youngster, as Jack Webb says,
in suburbia, you know, you'd be like, police badge or fire badge? Police badge or fire badge? Boy, that's a tough one, right?
That is a tough one.
On the one hand, I get to shoot and kill people.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I get to go save people in precarious situations.
Right, you're leaping out of the flames.
Hero, and everyone goes, "Thank you for getting the cat and my child."
Right, you're leaping out of the flames. Grandma's on your shoulder, and people are taking pictures. Next thing you know, you're accepting awards like Jack Webb, except you're doing it as a fireman.
Yes, you're a hero.
Yeah,
and they are.
They're heroes.
I mean, I've always. I know a guy who probably will like this episode. He, honest to God, true paramedic.
Nice
guy. Yes, I'll have to share this with him if he's not watching on Facebook right now.
Nice. Yeah, I always have to give it up to the people that when they're in, I mean, the human instinct is when something's on fire, run away. And those are the guys that have to run into it.
Which, by the way, is a good human instinct, folks.
Yes.
Run away.
Run away. Like, fight or flight.
Flight is always the better solution for saving yourself. I mean, now, granted, if you have someone's inside or whatever, and that's a personal choice. Of course, I was the Tenderloin Scout, so we
you're running into the forest, man.
We learned all about these things.
Bears attack. You're running in.
But I don't think in these buildings with the defibrillators that they have, I don't think they're like the paddles. I think they just kind of hook up, and it's got like a Intel, laptop or whatever, and kind of teet, kind of puts out a little, why is my tongue tingly now? I don't know. But
it's surgical though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
kind of, no, but you paste it on. Yeah. This is the ones that you and I could use in a building to save someone's life.
Right, they're like EKG things they put on.
Yeah, but they also do a little defibrillating. They do like a little circuit. I think that's the right word. They put a little current in there to
snap it up.
Snap that ticker. Yeah. Snap that heart up.
Yeah. There you go.
Isn't it amazing to you that Dick Cheney is still alive? Speaking of tickers.
Darth Cheney, he's...
I'm sorry, folks. That was unfair.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a very nice man.
Just don't go hunting with him.
Anyway, I don't know why that popped into my head. It's sort of evil. Doc's evil morning moment.
I'll have
Dick
you
Cheney.
Darth Cheney hasn't been human since 1976.
No, he's got like 12. You take that coat off, and it would be Darth Vader's whole like apparatus there. Right. I don't know.
Bush.
That's a terrible thing to. I shouldn't do that. Even if
I'm your father.
Even if yeah, exactly, exactly. Search your feelings. No, is that a rifle? Hunting rifle? No.
Right.
Shoot your hand off.
Oops.
Well, okay. Let's be fair. See, I feel bad now that I just threw that out there.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney jokes are like went out with Bob Hope jokes. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think Bob Hope did Dick Cheney jokes at one point before he passed.
In fact, his last words was a Dick Cheney joke. Yeah. He's on his deathbed and he comes out with one last zinger.
Yeah.
If you're feeling bad about making a Dick Cheney,
well, Dick Cheney. Is that God? Is that the light? Oh, God. No, I'm doing Bob Hope on his deathbed.
Oh, let me tell you that Dick Cheney. The other day I was walking to the light.
Is that you? Oh.
No.
This has just devolved into... I mean, here we're giving safety tips.
Your safety tips.
We're talking about paramedics.
Paramedics.
We're all the good things.
Cool 70s sitcom crossovers.
That's right. And what does Doc Normal do? Devolves into wishing people ill.
Yeah, Listen, if you're
really
feeling,
gotta get my head adjusted.
If you're feeling,
defibrillator to the brain.
That's what we do. You're not supposed to do it like that. Don't worry about it, man. No.
NuzBox. It's like a defibrillator to the brain.
Ooh.
Huh?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Makes it sound like
evil geniuses.
Well, yeah, but
anyway, so no.
Yeah, if you're feeling guilty about saying something bad about Dick Cheney, just take a moment and think of all the crappy things he's done.
Yeah, I know. I was picking someone kind of with a but I don't know. Still,
yeah.
I just feel like I don't know why suddenly I feel bad about that.
It's Monday.
It's like
send them a card. Better yet, be ready with the paddles next time. It's like Seventh Heart.
It's like
implodes.
it's like if you're like, oh, I wish that bomb would have worked on that Hitler guy. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I wish their family well. It's like, no, it should have worked.
Do you think that Operation Valkyrie comment went too far?
Yeah, exactly. No, it didn't. No. He was supposed to be assassinated. It would have ended the war maybe sooner.
It's Hitler, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm sorry.
Happy Monday, everybody.
We try to, that was totally uncalled for. Yeah. So anyway, the video card, capture card in this computer.
Yeah.
I took it out, and then the computer boots up fine. It was like, hey, how you doing? I'm your computer. Wow.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Wow.
Yeah, I got one of those.
There you go.
Wouldn't it be great if
everything in life did that?
If your computer, like that's because the Mac you boot it up and it goes it does the old and they have the old retro Mac.
Yeah.
Your PC, what does your PC do? Sometimes it beep beep, and then it used to be old computers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's oh my God, I think that was NBC. No.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, it gives you a sound.
There was something like that. Yeah, a little chime.
Intel has their sound. They don't do that on the computer, but
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But they don't do that. But there's a Windows sound, and there's an Amiga sound, or Amiga. There's a startup sound. But wouldn't it be great if your computer in 2017 or your phone or whatever, you boot it up, and it just starts, hey, I'm your phone. Hey, how you doing? God, you're looking good. I can't wait to serve you. I can't wait to surf cool stuff for you and make calls and texts. There was a movie like that, actually.
That would be cool.
Highly recommend. Cult film called Dark Star.
Dark Star?
Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay. Dark Star is written by Dan O'Bannon.
Famous
sci-fi writer.
Love the name.
what you could name scripts that he wrote. One, this little film called Alien would have been one.
Just a little.
Yeah. He wrote that. He was a script writer and a sci-fi novelist. Wrote a lot of stuff, television. Very successful guy, Dan O'Bannon. He passed a few years ago, unfortunately. His friend in college, in film school, John Carpenter.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had these people.
Wow.
And I can't remember who the other guy, but you know, they were like at USC studying the film.
Yeah.
And then what they do, like Lucas did his THX movie, they make a little movie. Well, they made this sci-fi movie. They're into sci-fi fantasy. And, of course, you look at their careers, and it's like they go off and do horror and sci-fi and cool stuff like that. Yeah. Successful in Hollywood. So they make this little movie called Dark Star. A little low-budget cult movie with the effects and everything about a survey crew out in hyperspace that blows up planets that are in the way of the hyperspace route. Kind of a little.
Wow, they're like a construction crew.
Yeah, kind of like the Douglas Adams too, a little bit, kind of a riff on that, right?
Yeah.
But so they have these thermonuclear, like Death Star before there was a Death Star. These thermonuclear killer bomb Genesis device things that can just decimate a whole planet, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, you got computers, you got hyperspace. Well, the bomb is like, you know, has a computer in it. It's like HAL 9000. It talks to you.
Yeah. Hi, Bob.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the scene is, the opening scene is they're there. It's like, okay, this planet checks off, you know. And they're just a survey crew. They're very. If you watch this movie, you'll see threads of like the movie Alien and other threads go in. Writing, characterization.
It's like a genesis of what they were thinking to come down.
Yeah, which is why people are like, "Oh, Dark Star, that was a cool." And it's funny. It's a comedy.
Okay.
And so the bomb drops down, and the first thing the bomb goes, "Hi, I'm your bomb. I can't wait to blow this planet up. How you guys doing up there? How you feeling?" "Well, we're feeling a little bit hungover today." "Oh, that's too bad. I could sing you a song." I mean, like the bomb, the computer bomb talking to him. So I highly recommend it. So Dark Star, look it up in your fine boutiques online.
Right.
You can get it.
There was one thing I never understood, though, about computer voices. Why they was always sounding so, "Hi, how are you?" Like, "Hal." Well, I want one that comes in like a chain smoking 50s housewife with her hair in curlers. "What do you want?"
Well, what's your favorite computer voice out of all the sci-fi you know?
Oh, easily. Okay. Buck Rogers of Tweaky, man.
Tweaky.
What's up, Buck?
Was it Tweaky or
Dr. Theopolis was
Wiki?
No, it's Tweaky.
Okay, because didn't they get the Wiki? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tweaky.
Yeah.
What's up, Buck?
Yeah.
You know, he always those snappy one-liners, too.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah. There's Hal. There's Dr. Theopolis and Tweaky.
Yeah. There's Dr. Theopolis, he was...
Remember, he was the one on the chest? And Tweaky always had him on his chest. He was like, real calm.
Right.
And we will get out of this situation,
How about the Knight Rider?
Buck. Oh, Kit.
Kit.
Ooh.
By John, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Kit. That was good.
Cannell?
Yeah, well...
Stephen
yeah,
Cannell?
but the actor.
Oh,
guy who played Kit.
Yeah.
There was Kit. There was... you know which one I liked was Robot. Robot. Didn't have... It was Robot. Remember?
Yeah.
Lost in Space.
Danger Will
Robinson. It was just Robot. He never really had a name. It was a robot, right?
Yeah, or early 80s. Shall we play a game?
Well, yeah, that was the voice synthesizer.
I know. I didn't want to leave him left out.
I mean, of course, you got the whole Star Wars. You got R2-D2, and you've got C-3PO. I always liked R2-D2 because you always were... Every time they'd interpret R2-D2, the little squeaks and squawks, you'd be like, the guy's cussing like a crazy... These astro droids are dirty.
He's cussing like a sailor.
Like when Princess Leia comes out for the first time and R2-D2 goes... There was probably not something very nice.
No, he was sexual. There was sexual harassment going on there.
Yeah. So R2-D2.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think they're the most famous Android robot voices ever?
I think now. I think everyone, like, when you see R2-D2, it's like, what is that? A trash can? It's like everyone knows. I mean, Star Wars is one of those things. It's universal. You know, that's always the test. There's another pro tip. Okay, so folks, when the alien invasion comes, the extraterrestrials. Here's what.
And they will. They will.
No, we're giving safety advice.
Right.
We're very we should get our our fireman. I bet you our fire person badges. I bet you if we went, we might be able to just go do a field trip down to the fire.
Why not?
House down here and get do they still have the stickers?
Oh, I want a sticker.
The police, the Portland police still had the stickers once. One time my kid, and it was like the neighbor, and it was like, oh, here, have a sticker. Oh, I got one left. They still had the...
Yeah, like a junior police buddy sticker. Yeah. Like that. You're like, oh, wow.
Rat out your parents.
It's almost as special as the Burger King.
What are they cooking down in the basement? Here's your junior... Joe Friday will be proud. Just the facts.
Yeah.
Well, mommy's lost a lot of weight lately, and there's really weird smells and lots of dad's cooking a lot of pasta downstairs.
And he cusses a lot.
But there's no food anywhere.
There's no food anywhere. His gums are always bleeding, and he's just...
Oh, my gosh. I don't know, Joe. What does this look like to you? Looks like meth cooks in the basement.
Right.
Sad, really, isn't it? Yes.
Things are Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad meets Dragnet.
Right.
This would be perfect.
Gosh.
This would be perfect.
Can you imagine? Yeah, Joe shows up. There's meth cooking in the bathtub. Next thing you know, put down that meth youngster.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Yeah. I mean, Joe Friday. There was my favorite Joe Friday.
Okay.
One of them you mentioned was the LSD.
Yeah.
And was it LSD or was it called something else? But it was LSD. It was we could just call it the LSD story.
Right.
Right? And it is because the shows were a half hour. Nice tight. Yeah. A half hour, 28 minutes or whatever with commercial, whatever they are. And this episode was it was like an episode of Firing Line. I think you saw their really crappy cop detective car. What was it, a Corvair or something? I mean, they had the worst car in the world. Like, it wasn't a Chevrolet, with the suicide doors or something. It's like, hey, it wasn't like something Cannon driving his Lincoln Continental 3, baby. The Macmillan and wife in their Rolls or whatever.
Yeah.
No. They drove like this crappy little... Before economy cars existed, they had one, right? The little... And so they show up. And so I think you got the establishing scene, and they go into this Church of the Enlightenment or whatever it is. And basically, it's an actor, and he's Timothy Leary.
Yeah.
And we have Joe Friday. The entire episode is a two camera shot.
Okay.
Close-ups.
Yeah.
Between Joe Friday.
Yeah.
And Timothy Leary.
Yeah.
Debating LSD.
Ooh.
Tune in, turn up. That's the whole episode, Jason.
Free your mind.
There's nothing else. They're like, okay, maybe they go out and make a call and come back. The whole point of the episode was it was made at the time when LSD was not, Schedule 1 was not illegal. Right. I mean, there was a point.
But it's propaganda. They're trying
youngsters,
to... Yeah.
There was a point in the 60s where this Lyserga, what is it? I can't remember. This LSD, which was made by, a Swiss scientist for psychology things.
Something like
that. And then it wound up in, like, San Francisco, in California, in the cities. And that's, the flower, what we call the hippies, the music, the Jimi Hendrix, the Jefferson Airplane, and all that. And then people would take this, acid.
Drop an acid, bro.
And then they'd have, psychedelic experiences.
Yes.
I do not speak from experience on this, by the way.
No.
I'm having my psychedelic experience. It's called Trader Joe's Dark Roast.
Now, we were too busy hooking paddles up to our heads.
Tenderloin scouting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this whole thing is this debate between this tune in, turn out, drop, you know what I mean, enlighten yourself, forget society, and Joe Friday representing society. The whole debate. And they just sit there back and forth.
You know what, Doc? People
and they can't bust him.
No.
Well, maybe
he wants to.
Maybe Frank Gannon.
Well,
otherwise played by Colonel Potter.
Yeah, Harry Morgan.
Harry Morgan. I think Harry Morgan at some point they might find a loophole or something, like the guy had like a petty wallet theft or something when he was in high school, and so we're gonna bust you on this. It's like Al Capone. It's like
next thing you know, the phone book,
12 million people, but taxes. So so there's that.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. People today, they're just listened to what we said, and they said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's right.
You know what we need to do? We need to do a reenactment right now of Jack Webb and Timothy Leary.
You think you're pretty high and far out, don't you? You and your LSD, your tune in and turn out. You know, people have to have a good job. They have to have a family. They need to make technology things, bullets, guns. We need to spread capitalism and democracy across the world. How can you even think of enlightening yourself?
Expand your mind, Sergeant. Free yourself.
Oh, I've expanded my mind enough. I've got my coffee and my cigarettes, you high and far out freak. I'll show you. I'll get you on a petty misdemeanor from high school when you stole someone's wallet. Frank, can we do that? No, Joe, we can't. Damn it! I haven't pooped in 3 weeks. Does the LSD help with that? I'm just asking for a friend.
Well, yes, it is. Technology's fiber.
Ooh. Frank, I need to rethink this. I'll be back. Anyway, I don't know.
That's what it is.
That was horrible.
Well,
it is a really good though. I once had this. It was like, and it was, and he does use the phrase, "You think you're really high and far out, don't you?" You know, and you're like, "Oh man, just bring it on, baby."
And he couldn't say it like any more square either. You think you're really high and far out, don't you? And
you know what's crazy? Jack Webb, the actor.
Yeah.
Total Hollywood guy.
Yeah.
Huge jazz fan. Like, he actually even made a movie where he stars as some jazz trumpeter in the 20s. Yeah. You probably remember the name. I don't. But huge jazz fan. I mean, he had, like, Bobby Troup and Julie London were cast in Emergency, the jazz pianist and singer. You know. So here's Jack Webb, right? Mm-hmm. Mr. Like the epitome of the Nixonian,
straight-laced,
Reagan,
Norman Rockwell
conservatism.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something that you're going to intake in your body, it better be a cigarette,
yes,
or a cup of coffee, or 3 stiff martinis,
yes,
all legal, by the way.
Did Jack Webb drink? I mean, was he doing martinis?
You kidding me?
Was he shaking and stirring?
Come on,
okay, I'm just
look
checking.
at that guy. So you have that, right?
Yeah.
No mention of alcoholism in these shows.
No.
So you have that.
Yeah.
But he's like hanging out with all his jazz buddies and stuff. What are jazz buddies, man? Hey, a little reefer, Jack, while I play a little Dave Brubeck. How do you get to 5/4? This is how. You know, I mean, it's like...
so let me ask you this question then, because that's interesting.
He's
because
a Hollywood guy.
If he portrays this real straight-laced, all-American Norman Rockwell sort of ideal of Americana, but then he's listening to jazz, and you get a little counterculture with that. Do you think he was riffing maybe a little bit on the straight-lacedness? Do you think he was maybe joking on a little bit, going a little overboard just to...
You know, that I think you may have something there.
Because...
you may have something there. Maybe he was just like, you never know. Oh, now I'm going to disgrace the memory of the actor-producer Jack Webb, right? But maybe, Jack's going home like, I don't know, Bobby, can you play a little Dave Brubeck?
Right.
And it's all a front, right?
It's all a front.
It's like...
that
everyone in Hollywood's like, oh, Webb, dude, have you ever been to one of his parties, baby?
Right.
This whole show is sarcasm,
yes,
and comedy under fair use.
Yes,
so we're not suggesting to the estate of Mr. Jack Webb. We're fans.
Parody, folks. Parody.
That he was hanging out with Johnny Carson and Buddy Rich, smoking reefer and stumbling on the drums. Well,
right.
let's get Jack high and then have him play the drums.
Right, yeah. I mean, come on. If you're hanging out with Carson, you're not living the straight life because Doc Severinsen was never sober at all.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's not denigrate the great trumpet player Doc Severinsen.
No, he was fabulous.
I'm not denigrating. From Oregon, by the way.
I'm just saying the man knew how to party.
Who's from Oregon.
Really?
He's a native Oregonian.
I did not know that.
Severinsen. I can't remember what. Not Portland though. It was somewhere else. But I seem to recall he was one of our. There was always this short list of celebrities of like 5 people. And one of them would be, that guy who was the sergeant that they'd walk past on My Mother in the Car. That guy, he's from Portland. It would be like, we'd dig the bottom of the barrel. But it turns out there's actually famous people. Like one, I don't know if I mentioned on the show, the Sam Elliott.
Yep, big article just about him.
Sam Elliott.
Eugene, right?
Marshall High School, I believe.
Yeah. So he lives down in Eugene now. I think.
We talked about that guy, the redneck sheriff from the James Bond, who passed away.
Right
down here and grew up in Gladstone, Oregon.
Wow.
And there's others. So there it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we actually had a couple famous deaths in the Hollywood area. The first one. That I saw that hit yesterday, yesterday morning, was George Romero.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Night of the Living Dead. I mean, oh my gosh.
The famous, great George A. Romero.
George A. Romero.
Yeah. There was a great, I don't know if I put that on my Facebook. I might have, but there was a great picture of him, like they were holding the camera, and there's the lady, like right from Night of the Living Dead in black and white, total underground. But kind of the father, you'd say the father of the zombie movies in the zombie era, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can, the modern, like Coca-Cola is the modern version of Santa Claus. The modern version of the zombie is all, I mean, it's mostly George Romero.
Now, I'm going to, I'm just going to throw this out here because you need to know. Yeah. Everyone needs to know.
Everyone needs to know.
And I know everyone loves The Walking Dead and all that.
Yeah.
I am a person also, not just zombies, but also vampires. Vampiras.
Nosferatu.
I get a little bit bored with the genre of the vampires and the zombies. Probably actually more so the zombies than the vampires. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not... and I'm saying this just because, and this is like the thing with I know everyone, The Walking Dead. I tried to watch The Walking Dead when it came out, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't, just because I know, okay, I know it's good. I'm not going to fight you on it.
No.
But I just, I mean, some people don't like science fiction. Some people are like, oh, Luke Skywalker, what is this guy? I don't know. They're flying through space in a tunic. I can't do this, Right. I mean, that's fine.
Why is that dog 7 feet tall?
Yeah, we all have our tastes.
Wookiee. Yeah.
So zombie stuff genre overdone, and I get bored. I always want to see something new.
Yeah.
Same with the vampires, kind of took in that direction. That said, Shaun of the Dead, one of wonderful film. I saw something else that was pretty good, but George Romero, Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah.
I mean it's less, when it's such a genre that it like kind of jumps its genre.
Yeah.
Like it's better than that.
Sure.
That one's better. Like where it's like, this is just a film. Forget that it's like I can forget that it's zombies or anything.
Yeah.
Because it's more about what's happening with the characters, and that the dread, the fact that there is no escape. No escape, right?
Yeah. Well, the problem I had with zombies always is it's so limited because they're always one-dimensional. They're always the brain-dead guys that are limping around trying to eat brains. Whereas vampires, you have this three-dimensional guy that has you can change the person's their whole look, right? You got the classic Bram Stoker, then you got the kick-ass True Blood people,
right?
And then even just I'm gonna say it. I know people who love this, but I'm gonna throw them under the bus. I hate Twilight.
Oh yeah,
little glittery vampires where every vampire is a male model.
So I don't know.
Oh gosh, it's just wow.
Yeah, but to me that the Twilight,
Fright Night.
Yeah,
Salem's Lot.
Salem's Lot.
But
the thing with the Night of the Living Dead, what I'm trying to say here is, even though it is a quote zombie movie, and it was a groundbreaking. What was it? 1968 was the year 1968. Yeah. But you watch the film as like almost to me. Like a Cassavetes film or something. It has much more going on in that film than the zombies are the vehicle for everything else that's happening. Right. And the whole I don't think we just saw a movie that was so dreadful. And I don't mean the horror, because it did have the groundbreaking horror, but I mean the storyline, the people trying to get away from this menace that keeps coming. And I know I've read some like psychological treatment. All good movies always have people who go, well, let's delve into the psychology and philosophy of this film. And there's like some really deep things. I think I read somewhere that there was almost like a Red Menace communism kind of theme to it.
Ooh.
Someone had written about that. So, but there's just a lot you can interpret in it.
Yeah.
And then you wonder someday with a filmmaker like that, where you go, were you thinking of you have the critics, right? And usually they're French.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Je suis à son temps and Night of the Living Dead. He said, do you think that there is a juxtaposition between communism and the fight of capitalism as vis-a-vis Vietnam in Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero? And at some point the filmmaker goes, it's a movie about zombies. I don't know, man. You know what I mean? It's like you read,
You're looking for metaphors, and it's just...
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not a super fan. I'm not a complete expert on Romero, but I've seen some of his stuff. He definitely was a amazing filmmaker.
Yeah.
And to me, that Night of the Living Dead, even though it's a zombie movie... For me, because it's so classic and has so much in it, I mean, I can watch that without going, I don't know, I'm not, whatever. I don't want to watch a zombie movie, but I'll watch Night of the Living Dead because I'm not seeing it as that. I'm seeing it as something different.
And it's even more remarkable because he did it on such a shoestring budget. There was no big actors, no big, effects.
I'm that guy.
And
I'm that guy. I'm that guy who's sitting there watching Night of the Living Dead. I'll light a cigarette and have my coffee and start speaking in French, going, don't you think that this is a juxtaposition between the proxy war between communism and capitalism as vis-a-vis Vietnam?
Ooh,
and everyone's like, can't you just enjoy the damn zombie movie, Doc?
We may have to get Dr. Rebecca Housel on the horn soon to give us a soliloquy of Romero.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was Romero, and then it even got worse.
Yes.
I hope we're not getting back into that 2016 vibe.
No, I hope not either. I don't want no more Princes and Bowies. Although we've already had some, so I guess.
Yeah. So I wanted to share this with y'all. Well, it's on the Facebook, so here's my little tiny tribute to Martin Landau. Martin Landau was 89 years old, and he passed yesterday as well.
Yeah,
the news up. And,
that was a toughie.
And I totally forgot. I wanted 4 pictures that kind of represented my Martin Landau.
Sure.
But there's more. A couple people
Ed
pointed
Wood.
out other things. So from clockwise to top, if you have not seen this movie, it's a Woody Allen movie. One of the best, and one of the best Martin Landau, Crimes and Misdemeanors, up on the left. Space 1999, of course, the Jerry Anderson thing. A little cheesy, but that's okay. And then on the left there's Rollin' Hand.
Yeah.
And Rollin' Hand was dun 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 dun, the man of 1,000 faces.
Look him; he's all looking slick there with his.
Well, he was the
tuxedo.
actor, dude. He was the one who came in and did the characters and stuff. He was always doing you're going to be the Central American dictator.
Yeah.
Oh man. And Martin Landau, being a great actor,
yeah,
who had to play an actor to impersonate like dictators and stuff, did a fantastic job if you watch the guy work, because he's got one wink on the camera going, I'm playing an actor who goes with the IMF to play the dude, and I've got the plastic makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the one on the lower right, do you know what that's from?
No, I don't.
It's a tough one. And the curtains, there's another one I could have used, North by Northwest.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say Hitchcock. Right.
North by Northwest. Now I can't remember his name. There's some great pictures if you look up North by Northwest and Martin Landau.
Yeah.
He, of course, was James Mason's young little henchman. Mm-hmm. Can't remember the name. Someone will put it into Facebook. Right. But he's one of the baddies in North by Northwest. He's the guy who gets Thornhill, a.k.a. Cary Grant, drunk.
Oh.
Yeah. And that, boy, if you want to talk cinema, there's nothing better. If you can, just get a Blu-ray player, and you can get it not for expensive. Just go out. There's a 50th anniversary restored digital edition on Blu-ray. Mine came with a book and stuff, but get the 50th restored, whatever. Maybe a 60th, actually, now that I think about it, on digital, and put that in your Blu-ray system, and just watch the colors and the cinematography. Yeah, and the acting, and oh man, Martin Landau and James Mason are great. It's just, what a movie. Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of Hitchcock. I mean, that was kind of the end of his era of that sort of film. Yeah. That was kind of his. This is now my masterpiece. We're done. 1959, and what does he do next? I got to do something different. Psycho. Let's do Psycho. Black and white. Let's break it down. Right. Wow, and he's Hitchcock. He can do any movie he wants. Sure. And he goes, no, I'm doing Psycho. And they're like, no. Can you do another North by Northwest? That's classic. It's like, been there, done that. Yeah. Artist, done.
Moving on.
Been there, done that. I'm done working with Cary Grant. I want to do something new in the 60s. Have you seen this? George Romero's Zombies and a Camera. Yeah. I think we should do something.
Black and white.
Black and white and more sinister.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That wasn't Hitchcock. But anyway, so Martin Landau. And then some other people were posting, he won. So I thought it was for Crimes and Misdemeanors. He might have been nominated. He won the Academy Award for his role in Ed Wood.
I love that movie.
Which I have not seen in so long. Yeah. But boy, that's Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp and Martin Landau. And he won a well-deserved Academy Award. Yeah. He played Bela Lugosi, didn't he?
He did.
Was he play? That was him.
He was
playing
Bela Lugosi.
Oh my God! Okay, it's time for a Martin Landau film fest.
He's strung out and he's calling Depp on the phone. Ed, help me! Help me!
No offense to the estate of Bela Lugosi, but there's some famous stringing out. Also,
drinking formaldehyde at the end because he needed that cheap high.
Yeah. The other one was Peter Lorre.
Oh,
same thing. Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah. Well, Rick. he was same kind of Bela Lugosi kind of deal. A lot of bad stuff going. I mean, they'd get into the Joe Friday coming in. You're pretty high and far out on that smack, aren't you, kid?
Right. Put down that needle, lad.
Yeah. Let's not.
Youngster.
The opiates. No.
The opiates.
Physically addictive. That's your key.
Yeah.
But anyway, the other one was Tucker. Tucker. Yes, Tucker. A Francis Ford Coppola film.
The Man and His Machines. Jeff Bridges. Yes.
Another semi-autobiographical. I can't speak. Biography that Coppola did. Much like kind of The Godfather is, but not really. Yeah. But Tucker more so. Yeah. Because Coppola is from the Italian Detroit. Italians up there in Detroit. And what did they all do?
Yeah.
Make cars, design cars up there in Detroit. So Tucker is based on a true story.
Yeah.
And I think Coppola's his father or one of Coppola's grandfather or whatever. They were like someone was in the car industry there because they were from Detroit.
Yeah.
I knew there's a lady. Actually, Faith, we haven't seen each other years. She grew up in Detroit. She knew the Coppolas.
Wow.
Yeah. And also, it's not just the Coppolas; it's the Nick Cages. Remember,
Nicholas Coppola.
He's a Coppola.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyway, so she had some interesting stories about the Coppolas.
Interesting.
Not bad. Just not Bela Lugosi or just interesting.
Anecdotal.
Yeah. So Tucker, and that was a great movie. Jeff Bridges and Martin Landau.
Again, one of those movies I haven't seen in years.
And somebody said the X-Files. I don't remember him in the X-Files, but come on.
I wonder if they're mixing him up with Cancer Man.
I don't know. I would guess that he was in the X-Files. But those are if you think about Ed Wood, Tucker, Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Those are three fantastic. Oh, North by Northwest, of course. Three fantastic. And he's been in a lot more. We're not even, I mean, there's probably stuff we're missing. But I'm telling you, Crimes and Misdemeanors. I know, if you're Woody Allen, okay, whatever. But he's made some movies. Great, dark. It's you want to say it's dark comedy, but it's also dark dramedy. Very, very good. He plays a successful dentist. And and like all successful, powerful men of dental privilege, I think he's a dentist. He's a doctor, a dentist, but he has a beautiful family. Yeah, beautiful wife. Beautiful,
this is not my beautiful wife.
Yeah, beautiful, exactly. Beautiful Manhattan apartment, all of that.
Yes.
And so this is Martin Landau, right? And he's just at the pinnacle of his greatness, right? He's an older man now. And, of course, he's got a little something on the side.
Oh.
The Houston, what's her name? I can't remember her first name now. Yeah, he's got a side girlfriend.
Yeah.
And, when that happens, sometimes that situation starts to act up a little bit.
Right.
So he's got a situation on his hands.
Right.
And the story ensues.
Yes.
And Jerry Orbach, the great Jerry Orbach, actually known more...
Law and Order guy, right?
Yes. A Law and Order and Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
The dad in Dirty Dancing.
No one puts baby in a corner.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jerry Orbach is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Great character actor. He was on the first couple seasons of Law and Order. He was the original detective. He was, of course, played Baby's dad in that. And he's been in all kinds of things. But he was really known for Broadway, for stage. Huge, like Tonys and all that. In fact, Jerry Orbach died before one of his performances.
Wow.
Yeah, he actually didn't show up for work. He didn't show up for the gig one night. He was on Broadway.
Wow.
Doing a show.
Right
I don't
up
know if
to
it was
the
a
end,
musical.
huh?
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then so they're calling. And of course, I think they have and famously when he passed, somebody had a video. They came out on stage and said, "We have bad news. We're canceling the show. Our star, Jerry Orbach, has passed away." Wow. We just found out. Yeah. Wow. But, if you're going to pass away, there's an argument to say,
doing what you love right up till the very end. There's something poetic about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got that story straight. But anyway, so Jerry Orbach is, I think, the brother, the ne'er-do-well kind of, he's not the successful or the cousin or whatever. Has ties. Ties with guys.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, Crimes and Misdemeanors. It really is. Yeah. I want to watch it.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm still working my way through Cassavetes, man.
Oh man!
And you gave me a huge list there over the weekend, and I'm busily trying to knock them out. But now I've got to go back and
just like insane.
Yeah, now I've got to go back and watch some classic Mission Impossible.
I know, right? And they're good.
Peter Graves.
Binge watch those.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
They're really, really good. I mean, I think in the end, like every series as it gets toward
jumps the shark, sure.
The end. And did you know, that show has run even modern times or whatever. That and Hawaii Five-0, they're still making, there's a Hawaii Five-0 or something now.
There is.
I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm kind of like...
Book them, Dano.
Try something new. I mean, to me, Hawaii Five-0 is, Jack Lord, Dano,
Right.
Mission Impossible is Rollingham. Maybe a little later.
Although,
Spock.
Yeah.
Because he takes over. Remember? Leonard Nimoy after Star Trek.
Although I will throw in this little monkey wrench into the equation.
Yep.
The new Hawaii Five-0.
Yeah.
Dano is played by Jimmy Cahn's kid.
Oh.
And the kid pulls it off. He's not a bad actor.
So you watched that show?
I watched the first season of it because I saw Jimmy Cahn's kid, and I'm like, well, now, what's going on with this, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to denigrate these.
No, you're right.
It's the whole,
rehash.
remake. I mean, I'm watching Twin Peaks, the return.
Yeah, but it's by the guy, though. Yeah, it's the guy continuing it on.
Not the remake. Yeah. It's the return. It's like we pick it up 25 years later.
Yeah.
And the people who like the Twin Peaks, we're enjoying that. But mostly we like, it's kind of like new stuff,
Yeah.
And Mission Impossible was rebooted a few times. I watched
it was
movies.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Well, it was rebooted on TV.
Yeah, it was for a bit. It was like half a season.
I watched it, and it was like, and then Tom Cruise and all that, and J.J. Abrams, I think, did one of those. And I mean, the guys.
Man, there is nothing worse.
They weren't terrible. There was one with Seymour Hoffman, the late Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Which was a Ghost. Was that Ghost Pro? One of those, which was pretty interesting. Because he was the baddie.
Yeah.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman was a very great actor.
See, I know what you're talking about there. So, and the heart of it is when you have an iconic TV show that, and then you see, and then there's nothing worse with that feeling afterwards. When you have that feeling of, man, they should have just left it alone.
Here's the thing. I mean, to me, the Mission Impossible it's like James Bond, another thing that constantly gets updated.
Sure.
But when you go back and you watch those old James Bond movies, certainly the 60s, the Connerys and all that. And then even in the 70s a little bit, but you still had the Soviet Union. You still had the Cold War and all that. And Mission Impossible is all about that. I mean, they're always their whole almost every storyline is there somewhere in Central America.
Yep.
There's a dictator.
Yeah.
He's doing bad stuff.
Yeah.
And these are the elite team. I mean, this is like they're not even on the books in the CIA or the NSA or whatever you want to call them. They're off on their own. And if your mission is ever found out, Mr. Gray or Mr.
we will disavow.
We will disavow. The secretary will disavow any knowledge of your mission. You will be wiped. Your name, your people, wiped.
Yep.
Wiped away.
Get washed out, yeah.
You will be wiped. We will know. No one will have ever heard about you, from you again. Sodium pentothal, everyone will drug your family. They'll be like, Dad? What did Dad do?
Yeah, it's like Men in Black with the little pens, they're going to blot you out.
Exactly. Just like Men in Black with the little, little poof, and then you forget that you were doing a podcast.
Poof! Why am I in a basement?
Yeah, this explains a lot of this show.
Yeah.
You're talking, and then poof, and then you're like, were we talking about a computer?
Hey, what are these cameras doing here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that to me is Mission Impossible, right? And of course, that's a big Martin Landau always had big stuff with that, because he always had to put on it was always the rubber mask and the big mustache and the big thing, and then that it would be the military cap. Each week it was like a little different military cap and a different mustache or whatever.
They must have a huge wardrobe budget.
They did, and then they'd kidnap.
Yes.
The dictator.
Yep, and they would put him on ice while
Roland Hand would play the dictator.
Yep.
And do other things. And then the whole episode would be people sweating because they're going to find out it's Roland Hand. And the one, there's a great episode that I watched when I watched Mission Impossible.
Okay.
When I did, because you go up there and you say, I'll just watch one more. It's like candy. I'll just watch another one. I'll just have one more. The chips, right?
Right, you gotta keep binging.
Yeah, you can't just watch one. Yeah. And it was the one where, sure enough, Roland, he goes down there. He's got to be the dictator, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's always like they have the red shirt from Star Trek, who's another dude, right?
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Jenkins is going to be the impersonator guard, boyfriend of the dictator.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be the dictator.
Yeah.
What happens to Jenkins right before the mission?
Oh, Jenkins getting capped.
He gets in an accident. They throw him over the river, like his body down. And so they have to disavow Jenkins. I don't know what happened. They found this mystery body. Dictator, we think infiltration. And so what does Roland Hand have to do?
He's got to go in.
Dual roles.
Yeah.
Which means dual plastic makeup.
Yeah.
Dual everything.
But he can pull it off.
No, and so the whole episode is he's running back and forth. He's putting on the makeup. I got to be here for the speech to the dictator. Right? And then he's got to run, go to the secret room.
Yes, and change,
tear apart, and then make sweet love to the dictator's wife as the dictator's, as the secret boyfriend.
It's a hard job.
I mean, this is like Mission Impossible. You're going, whoo, he's going to be found out.
Yeah.
Right? So at one point, he's like supposed to be in a smoking jacket with a cigarette with a thing and a martini because he's the boyfriend.
Right.
And then the next thing, he's like in the military, in the olive green with the hat and giving a speech, and with his attaché who thinks something's up.
Yeah.
The attaché always thinks
something's not right.
Something's not right. Was that mole on that side of the cheek or that side of the cheek, right?
And it's always like Martin Landau in the broom closet getting changed.
Exactly.
And the guy's walking past because he knows something's not wrong. He knows something's not right, but he's like looking around something.
Exactly. It opens. Of course, the broom closet has to be open. This guard just to open it.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, just a point of order here.
Yeah.
You're a security guard. Your job is security.
Yeah.
And apparently your job is to walk around hallways.
Yeah.
Open doors. Hear something. Little thing. Was that the wind or whatever?
Right.
I think I'll go unlock. Get your key. You got like...
the skeleton keys, yeah.
Like that giant thing of keys, right? You're wearing a hat. You've probably got a security badge.
I'm sure you do. And a real one, too.
You're opening the door.
Yeah.
Right? Mission Impossible. You open the door about this much.
Yeah.
And then close it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a security guard, I'm thinking you're opening the door the whole way. You're looking around. Maybe you walk into the broom closet.
Yeah.
Take a look around,
It's always situational, though, right? The guy's in the broom closet. It's open by that much, and you can see through the camera thing, you're in the dark, but you see the light.
Oh, and Roland Hand is in there, and he sees the doors open, right? He's right behind a mop and a couple extra security guard uniforms.
And then the security guard comes walking up, and he grabs the door handle, and he's swinging it open, but behind off the corner, hey, Bob, what you doing? Oh, nothing, just doing my rounds. Hey, I got to take a leak. All right, you do that. Then he shuts the door, because he's preoccupied by something else. Martin Landau, whew.
And then the camera pans down in the broom closet.
Yeah.
Roland Hand.
Yeah.
In a hurry to hide in the broom closet, to hide from this guy, in between him changing two different characters.
Yeah.
I hope he gets paid extra for this. I mean, it's IMF. Come on. Yeah. Jenkins, you wasted Jenkins and you don't have a stand-in for the other guy? Pans down, his foot is in the mop bucket. So he's sopping wet. So what happens? He's in the smoking jacket, the cigarette filter. Yes. He comes in with the martini. Darling,
right.
Why is your foot wet? Sweat coming
down.
Yeah. And usually don't they have, like I have here,
you have a little earpiece in there, right? Yeah. Some guys, it's like, hey, he's talking to his wrist.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
tell him you accidentally peed on your foot.
Right. Hold on.
Wait, what? Hold on. Right? Exactly. Yeah. And so that happens. And then, of course, in haste, when they go back and they go do the dictator thing where he's got to he's always given a radio address, or you have to come out and address the troops, which are usually like about 4 extras on the back lot of Hollywood. They reuse the same Jeeps and vehicles. Sure. I mean, it's the Universal Studio. I mean, it's it's like the Hollywood Hills. They're like,
Yeah.
And so he comes out to do the thing because he's done the quickety slip and put the mask back on and everything. Mm-hmm. And, of course, the mole is on the wrong cheek, and the attaché is going, something different about you. I cannot place it, but the mole.
Right.
And so that's Roland Hand. And the whole time this is going on,
yeah.
let's not forget, the entire time this is going on, Barney is up in the attic, crawling around and doing stuff with wires the whole time.
Right.
And trying not to fall through the ceiling into the room that Roland Hand is trying to play these two characters and screw it all up. Like, he's like trying to, like, Barney is like, you know, and he touches the wires and they were live, so Barney's like,
right, yeah.
Don't fall, Barney.
And meanwhile, like Peter Graves or somebody,
and you know,
they're
Barney,
one of the waiters in the reception, and they're just handing him a drink, you know, and they look at each other.
Mr. Phelps sucks. Mr. Phelps, because Mr. Phelps is just kind of overseeing things. It's like, I'm just the supervisor here. I'll just play. Yes, I'm just the waiter or whatever.
But Peter Graves
I'm just serving wine, and I'm listening in my earpiece and going, Barney, don't touch the live wires.
Yeah.
Now you tell me, Mr. Phelps.
Yeah.
Thanks. I almost, you know. Barney, and so like, and Barney's up in the ceiling, and he's sweating, and so the drip, you know, like onto the desk of the dictator with the attaché going, there's a leak there somewhere,
right? Yeah,
you know? And the whole time this is going on,
yeah. Yes.
And Barney's like, multimeters.
Yep.
The video card went out.
It's all by the seat of your pants, man.
What's Barbara Bain doing? She's Sugar Candy. What the heck was her name again? I can't remember.
But she's like maybe the socialite, you know, and she's accompanying
she's always trying to like distract someone.
Yeah,
she's like distracting Jenkins, the security guard. It's like, you know, a Jeep pulls up and she gets out and, you know, does the classic movie skirt lift. You know,
yes,
show a little gam.
And that's Jenkins is distracted from that moment on.
Exactly. As Barney and what's the other guy's name? The big guy, the muscle, the guy who drives the van.
Yeah.
Him. They run.
Gotta watch
across.
These again.
I know, they're so good. That was Peter Loomis, I think was his name. He might have been from kind of a Portland thing, but anyway. And that was your Martin Landau in Mission Impossible. That I paraphrase. I mean, I'm making fun of, but there was an episode that basically it was one of the episodes where the big what do they call it, MacGuffin, was that the guy who was supposed to play one of the roles gets knocked off right before the mission, and literally Martin Landau has to go back and forth and change into costume and play dual characters, and there's always like a big giant safe that they're trying to get into, because I think that's what Barney's always trying to crack.
Right, because there's secret plans in there, and you need to get them out because
nuclear. It's always something Cold War, chemical weapons, nuclear something, and Fort Knox gold or something, you know,
or some prototype weapon. That is going to leak out.
It's always paperwork.
Yeah.
And they don't really have to get the plans. They just got to get in there, put them all out,
take the little pictures,
get the little microfilm thing, and put it in the shoe. Man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Or replace them with plans that don't work.
Oh my God! Yeah. And then they have some weird thing like, where did they bring the fake plans, and they're rolled up in a fishing rod or something?
Right.
And so Peter Graves at one point dons a costume of an old fisherman.
Yeah.
You know, the boat, like, you know, in just some peasant guy.
Right.
Come here. The fishing hole is good. I like it. Get out of here. You can't fish here. Get out of here.
It's like the old man in the sea, right?
Yeah,
he's the curmudgeon guy.
Off the big mustache and the hat and the clothes, and then they get into the Barney opens the safe, and then they get in there and they take the documents out and they dust them off and replace and then pull the new documents out.
Right.
Whew, man.
My favorite ones, though, were in the room with like cross laser beams, and I have to get through the lasers because they got to get to the whatever. I was like, which is always the first thing you go is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to laser beam up this room. Yeah.
See where you don't need to step?
Right.
It's like right there, because you can't really, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the way those things really work is they're invisible. You can't actually see that you break the beam. I mean, the technology, but if you're making a TV show, it's kind of hard to show that, so you show the red laser beams everywhere.
Or if it is not, it's not viewable, it's always the guy that comes, he comes crawling up, and he squirts a little squirt thing, and then in the mist you see the laser beam in the mist, right, and sweat rolls off, but it rolls off, and it's heading towards the laser beam, but he gets his hand underneath there, and you're moving on.
Yeah. I think we should just have that soundtrack running for our whole podcast. Especially, I should turn it on when I'm bringing the studio up.
Yeah, adventure music.
Because it's like, I'm Facebook. I've got the keys. Copy the keys. Do all the, the Barney. I'm the Barney of the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Barney. It's tough because all those characters were so good. I as a kid, I did like Barney a lot because he was a guy. It was like, don't make me act. Don't put me in crazy clothes or whatever. I mean, sometimes he had to.
But he was the backbone to it all,
no, you got to crawl up in the attic and do the real electrical work. You need to short circuit. And like in the beginning when they used to do a lot of the when they sit in the apartment, they do the pre-planning, and Barney would come out with a big schematics. And well, we go here, we drill here, we do this, we short circuit this, we do that, and it's like, ooh,
and he's tapping phones, he's overriding systems
all the time, tapping phones. You're right, because the attaché calls up to say, attaché gets out the memo. I just wanted to call. I think there is a problem with the dictator. Yeah. His mole is on the opposite cheek. That is not right. Something is
on
wrong.
His nose.
Who's on the other end that answered the call? Barney.
There he is.
It's okay.
Right.
You don't worry about it.
The situation is under control. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
He had plastic surgery. We are faking out the Americans. Go away. Right? Because he tapped in the phone to take the phone call. Because when they make the phone call, you're like, the gig's up, man, for all in hand. But no. Barney has tapped in the phone to fake the thing. There was a good one where they were on an airplane stowed away. You're just like, wow, what more could we do here? Yeah. The original guy was not Peter Graves.
No.
I believe Martin Landau was cast from the original cast. Okay. And like I said, when Landau actually did leave the series, Spock, Leonard Nimoy, ended up on the show, which is always really interesting. You're like, oh, him. All of a sudden, Spock shows up on Night Gallery and Mission Impossible, and then the that one show, Believe It or Not, or whatever, the Mysteries, whatever. He was the host of that.
Oh yeah, In Search of,
with the Leonard Nimoy. Yeah. But the original guy. Was not Peter Graves. It was this guy, and I can't remember his name. He's the judge guy on the original Law and Order.
Really?
Yeah. He was the original guy, the original head of it, and I can't remember his name. It wasn't Mr. Phelps. Yeah. And it turns out he was this guy, and he didn't work with the family, being out in Hollywood, and he wanted to go back to New York. The actor Stevens something, I want to say, and so he goes back to New York, and of course he's had a film career and a stage career. He's been successful, but it's just that situation then didn't work out. They hire Peter Graves, Mr. Phelps, and then we get the tape recordings. Yeah, he'd go to Disneyland Waterfront Adventure and
steps into a phone booth,
finds a key under a thing and does this and that, and then all of a sudden here's the envelope and he opens it up and here's a little tape recorder. And pictures. There's always photographs. This is the dictator, Manuel Jenkins.
Right.
Jenkins is secretly stockpiling uranium and other nasty things and has the plans for a doomsday device in his safe next to his study. You, if you accept the mission, are going to go get it and take care of it. And if you screw it up, we're going to wipe your memory from the face of the earth.
Right. And the guy on the tape is always using really cool words like neutralize.
Exactly.
You must neutralize.
It's never like
they just
what
whack
I
him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you wanted to turn the tape on and whack this guy. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Right. Yeah, it's always 5 seconds, too.
Yeah.
And it starts smoking. And you go, oh, okay.
Wouldn't it? What if Peter? What if Mr. Phelps has a bad day, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of messes up the 5 second self-destruct, like he's
Right.
just distracted or a car or something. It's like, oh, yeah, you know.
It's like real intricate information. He's writing it down or putting it to memory, and it just starts smoking. Dude, I'm not done yet. What are you?
Yeah.
You know.
He's writing notes.
Yeah.
Wait, shh, hang on. So
Yeah.
today, if we did it today,
Yeah.
the update, he'd go to the Fred Meyer.
The card.
Yeah, you see, you're right with me, right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday or happy Father's Day. Or
Happy
whatever.
bar mitzvah,
Right.
Bernie. You open it up.
And it would open up, and the LEDs, it would be a chihuahua with the LEDs.
Right.
Good day, Mr. Phelps.
Yes.
Your mission. But the LEDs and the chihuahua are still bumping
still
around.
gone.
But it would be like, your mission, if you choose to accept it.
Right. Or you nowadays with all the technology, right? You like putting on, you're in like Best Buy or something, and you're putting on like the Google glasses, and inside the Google glasses is the picture of the guy says, "Good morning." Like, oh wow, this is great.
See, you're getting real high tech. You're
Why?
getting real
Just-
MI, J.J. Abrams movie. I'm just spitballing this like in the,
Card
kind of the
thing.
60s.
It works,
I
yeah.
like the greeting card idea.
It is cool.
You know?
Yeah.
We got so many ideas. If we just get the film crew together and shoot these ideas, good
Right.
Good morning, Mr. Allen.
Yes.
So anyway, the video card of the machine.
But I digress.
That's what we do here. What was I telling? What story?
Full circle.
Yeah, so it was screwed up. And
Yeah.
when it was so bad, it had a hardware failure that it prevented the computer to boot. And so I took it out, and the computer is fine. And then I took this video capture card, and I actually, to test it, even put it in another computer just to test. And that computer wouldn't boot either. It was like, hey, what the heck you doing? And so that's the problem right there. So I have to replace that part. And there's these connectors on it where the digital video goes in, and one of the connectors is loose. And upon inspection, I actually have a photo here that I was going to share, but it's not Tech Talk with Doc. It's Monday Rocks with Jason. I wanted to make that rhyme, but believe me, you didn't want the rhyme that I was coming up with. Rhymes with Doc.
Oh no! No!
Yeah. So,
anyways.
anyway,
Right.
hit him again.
Right.
So the connector's loose and wear and tear.
Yeah.
I mean, these things go on site. They do stuff. So wear and tear, this happens.
Yeah.
This is also why we have more than one. Because usually when live streaming, we're live streaming one place.
Sure.
And NuzBox, we're doing 2 places. We want to do 3 places. We want to do the Streamzilla, right?
Right. Shotgun stream.
Eventually, I don't. A little sketchy on whether we can do the YouTube yet or not. But so we're doing Periscope and Facebook, and this one was doing Periscope, so we can't do Periscope. But the connector's loose, and I noticed there's a little component, a capacitor. That's their surface mount. When you look at your circuits, there's capacitors and resistors and chips and stuff. Mm-hmm. It looks to me like the connector got loose enough, and there's a capacitor right next to it. And it looks like it sheared the capacitor right off. Like there's a capacitor there, and then there's this little thing of solder.
Yeah.
And it's not a pad. You can tell if it's just a pad where they soldered it, and it's like, it's fine. There's nothing there. There's not a component populated there. No. It looks like something broke off, like the little capacitor there. So I might even check with my electronics people and see if we could actually even repair that. Because then it's an expensive thing and you could use it again. But this is one of those capture cards. They've got them for gaming. Got big ones. They're the ones for gaming. I mean, they're high end. They do big frame rates. You go on Twitch there, you do that stuff, and they'll set you back $100, $200.
And that's where they get the picture-in-picture thing?
Yeah. Okay. The ones we use are just more kind of professional, high end. They're not. They don't necessarily do the picture-in-picture and the gaming stuff. They're more for doing broadcast video and bringing the broadcast video in, and they're pretty basic.
Yeah.
The replacement is actually cheaper than the one that we're replacing, so that's good. Yeah, they're not bad. They bring in anyway. So that's what happened. So hopefully by Tuesday, hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have that, and by Wednesday we'll be back up on Periscope as well as Facebook. Yeah, back again. Yeah, but I'd like to do something else. But again, it involves getting another system and getting a setup like that, and running it that way. But anyway, so that was the update, the tech update.
Well, it's good to know that the problem has been addressed. That it's found what the problem is, and things are on the mend.
It took me an hour and a half for that tech update.
Well, it's never a straight line with us, man. We're taking the scenic route.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Peppered with pop culture references.
That's what we do. That's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
What else? We're kind of wrapping up a half hour here.
Sure.
What else we got in the news? We have the sad George Romero and the sad Martin Landau. Great to them. Great people in the arts.
Right.
What else we got today? I mean, there was politics. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a few stories saved. One that I saw that hit the main. And I was going to look into it. I read the science stuff.
Sure.
And I actually try to read some, I generally, for the science and the tech, I don't do the mainstream. I do a little bit more of the sciencey and techie blogs and media outlets. Mm-hmm. I like to go to, more of the ones that specialize in it because you usually get a better depth of story. Mm-hmm. But I saw today that we had on the main I have it on my phone here, on the main Google News in the science section, they reported this item, which is, it'll probably wipe away, that we detected a signal coming from 11 light years away from a system, from a star that's 11 light years away.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was detected by that Arecibo, that the world's, not actually the world's biggest, but the next biggest radio telescope out there in Puerto Rico. Oh, yeah, here it was. Mystery radio signals detected from red dwarf star just 11 light years away. Okay, so that is, that was Newsweek and The Independent. Now, I read this story over the weekend. It hit the science things, and I don't know that there's been an update. And I follow SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. There's this Seth Shostak, yeah. Mm-hmm. And these guys are science.
SETI.
These are science.
Yeah.
This is like, they actually invest
They're very
money.
Skeptical, science-driven, no-nonsense dudes.
Yeah, these guys are Search for Extraterrestrial. They're looking for signals. They're basically looking for something they can go, oh, that doesn't seem like a natural signal. And they get time on these radio telescopes and all over, and they find interesting signals. And of course, interesting things are detected, and because there's a record that it all gets stored, they go back and they go, oh, look, what was this that we detected? Okay. Mm-hmm. So they had talked about this is 11 light years away from a red
in the Virgo
red dwarf. So really 11 light years is in our neighborhood.
Sure.
I mean, it's still far away. We'd have to travel at the speed of light for 11 years to get there, and we can't do that even, but it's still close. And close enough, I mean, that you could message them. It would take 11 years to message them, but you could message someone.
Right.
It takes you 11 years to send a message back, so 22 years for a round-trip message. Messages would travel at the speed of light. So that would be cool to find someone in the neighborhood and then go, well, send a message, or they send a message like, hey, we're here, what's going on? And then we'd send one back that says, yeah, what's up with you? Be kind of a waste for a 22-year round trip message, and then they'd message back, nothing's up.
Yeah, it's like a teenage conversation at that point. What are you doing, none? What are you doing? None.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just our luck. We would find, light years away, a civilization of teenagers.
Yeah.
Who are very non-responsive and non-communicative.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here. We're humans. We evolved. Look, did you get our message? Our initial message. Naked guy, man, the double helix, third, stone from the sun.
Yeah.
Our probes. We sent a little music.
Right.
Whatever. All about us. Little math, little hydrogen molecule, all that stuff. What do you think? I don't know.
Right here. Did you get it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
And this is a 22-year conversation.
Yeah. What are you doing, none?
So the scientists at JPL are waiting for the response. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
So we've got a signal.
Yeah.
That looks interesting.
Right. They're not sure if it's like one of their solar flare things or if they're thinking...
it looks it's they have regular things and it looks a little you can tell stuff that's natural phenomenon. I can't remember the
It's a little suspicious.
Yeah, I mean it's a score.
Yeah.
It is a good one. But here's the thing. And the SETI guys are right there. Last I looked, and I don't know if they're saying that in the headlines, because these things hit the headlines like, whoa, and it's like, okay, that's great, read the headlines, but read, yes, there's a signal. That's about all you know. Because the first thing he said, we haven't verified the source, which means... yes, it's coming from that direction. We need to rule out anything that's in that direction.
Yeah.
And it's a wide part of the sky.
The universe is a big place, man.
Well, it could be a man-made satellite flying over that's causing this problem. Famously, the very first time we ever did this, which I want to, was it late 60s, early 70s, when we took a radio, the very first time they said, okay, we're going to take one of these dishes, point it up in the sky and see what we hear back, with the intent of maybe we'll find...
You never know.
Signals, like extraterrestrial signals. Very first time they got this hardcore pulse, clearly not a natural phenomenon and all that. And they went, whoa, we just found our first tryout and we've got extraterrestrials. No. It was a plane flying overhead.
It was a plane.
Yeah. And so they have to do all that due diligence.
Yeah.
They have to rule out everything because chances are weird signals and stuff are coming from us. Yeah. It's from something we're doing. It's not coming from the universe. Now, they have a protocol and a process for doing that.
Yeah.
Once they do that, and then they're like, no, that signal's coming from right there. Right. Then they can begin
to address
what's going on. So they haven't. So my understanding is they had not. He was like, let me be clear, we haven't ruled out. Right. We haven't done the. Yes, we found a cool signal and it's very, very interesting. Yes, it could be something unnatural, but chances are, in our experience, it's something else.
Yeah.
In the path of that. So. So I've seen those headlines. There is the weird mystery signal.
Yeah.
And that is really a thing. And that's something SETI and other scientists are very interested in.
Is that the one that the artificial thing around the planet or something like that?
No, this is a little bit different. This is like a signal, and it's this huge burst, like this gigantic, like, wah! Done. Yeah. And it's very unnatural. It's like something we haven't seen before, and it has repeated itself. Not like a pulse.
It's like a nano burst, right?
It's just like
up. Boop.
Yeah, it just shows up and goes away. That giant burst, and it's from far, far deep away, and so it would require tons and tons and tons of energy.
Yeah.
To even get here.
Yeah.
And that thing, they saw it once. They were like, what the hell was that? They ruled everything out. They kind of pinpointed it. They saw it again. Other telescopes, other radio telescopes saw it again, so they've triangulated. It happened again. It's irregular. So now they're monitoring that area of the sky, and they're trying to get more data. That one's really weird because there's not much of an explanation. Now, sometimes they end up, it's a good candidate for something extraterrestrial, but it also could be, they're always like, well, there's a black hole eating up 2 stars, and then because of this, a bunch of stuff gets ejected, which is a gigantic thing. But the interesting that was the one where some scientists have written a speculative paper that they have submitted. It's a real paper about that possibly an explanation could be that they are that if extraterrestrials are flying around in hyperspace and flying at the speed of light, they would have to have a lot of energy to do it, and that flash could be, them starting up their engines.
The Millennium Falcon hitting hyperspace.
Yeah. But again,
or warp speed.
Yeah. I mean, again, they can submit this, but there's you have to have evidence of it. So, and usually it ends up being some weird star, black hole, neutron
supernova thing,
pulsar thing. Sure. I mean, back in my day when I was a kid, when I first got into astronomy, I mean, they'd call these things like quasars and pulsars and stuff that were just like sending out. I mean, there's a thing out there. If you're not so astronomy, I'm just going to explain to you one really cool structure that happens in the universe. It's very cool. It's a star that is so dense and so hot and so compact. It's small. It's tiny. It can be more like planet size, not star size, but has all the material of a star packed in that tiny size. Yeah. Not quite a black hole yet, because if you pack it dense enough, what happens? It collapses on itself, gravity. Hence black hole. Yeah. This is a neutron star. And a neutron star is so dense, and usually they can spin at a super high rate too. So you get this thing out there, this thing out in the universe that's just this densely packed thing. It's not quite a black hole, but it's a super dense star with all the star stuff compact in a little thing, and it's spinning like mad, and those things give off pulses and x-rays, these huge bursts of energy. And so that was something that they were thinking, scientists have discovered many years ago. When I was a kid, they were like, ooh, this is interesting. And sometimes if the spin, right, and we're talking really fast spin, could be regular, it could be regularly
pulsing.
Almost like a lighthouse out there in the universe. Very interesting.
It is interesting.
I mean, massive amounts of energy and gravity, stuff that's unimaginable to us today. I mean, one of the scientists, I think it was Sagan or one of those guys one day said, if you had a teaspoon, right? A teaspoon of the neutron star, just a teaspoon. You took a little teaspoon off, just like ice cream, right? Salt and straw, and just a little teaspoon of the neutron star. And we had it right here. Here's our neutron. Got a little neutron star, teaspoonful. Yeah. It would collapse everything around us into it. It's that dense. The gravity is so dense that it would pull us into the teaspoon. Right. This desk, this studio, everything. Portland, Oregon. Yeah. And probably the rest of the earth.
The world
would suck into it.
Next thing you know, we're in a teaspoon.
Yeah.
How do we get here?
Well, all our mass here is in a teaspoon. Yeah. And it's hard to imagine. In our heads, we grow up here, we live here on Earth, we're used to one atmosphere and gravity and the sun and everything.
The fun thing
But it's hard to imagine how this stuff, exists in the universe. But it does.
The fun thing right now, somewhere out there on Facebook, is a guy in Texas who's really stoned that just heard that and, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Bro, that is intense.
That was kind of my reaction when I heard that.
Yeah.
I think it was Sagan. You know, it might have been Cosmos or one of those. You know, Sagan was the great communicator of science.
Billions and billions of star stuff.
But I remember just, you know, and it was the little teaspoon thought experiment, you know, and you're like, just to show you how gravity and density and stuff it works in the universe. I mean, certainly a black hole is exactly that, you know.
Right,
you don't want to get near one because you're not getting out.
That's true.
And then there's what happens to your information when you go in the black hole, and now we're getting into Stephen Hawking, and then we don't need to go there on Monday.
Let's not get sucked in like the black hole.
But you know, talking about the stars and the sun and our star, so we had, you know, now unfortunately I can attribute this to I think this problem, a component, the hardware got messed up and usually doesn't happen, but wear and tear. Usually that doesn't happen with your electronic components. But something fell off and the hardware got, you know, damaged.
Yeah.
But on Thursday and Friday, a gigantic sunspot appeared on our sun, and this is we've had, you know, sunspots are natural occurrences for the sun, but we have had a period of not so much sunspots.
Yeah.
We've had a low lull in the period.
Made scientists a little edgy because it's not exactly normal.
What is it? The sunspot, I believe, is like the size of 3 Earths.
Something like that.
3
to 5, yeah.
Folks, I should just pull it up for you. NASA, you know, nowadays we've got telescopes, we got stuff right on the sun. Boy, oh boy, if you go look at some of the satellite with the and it's not, it's actual pictures. It's not, it's not a, you know, a graphic. It's actually, we filmed this. There's a time lapse of the sun from the satellite with all of the ejections and the magnetics and stuff that are coming off the sun. Man, and you're looking at it and it looks like something out of a CGI movie, but that's actually telescope footage, photographs that they stitched together into a time-lapse film.
Have you heard like the sound with like different planets and different like the sun sounds like? Yeah. Very interesting.
Now, of course, there is no... How does that work? Because there's no sound in space. Sound waves do not travel in space. Space is a vacuum. You need a medium travel sound, so sound can travel in water.
Right.
Travels here in air.
Yeah.
But it's like the waves, right? The radio waves and the things that then we just could receive and just like the microphone.
And
turn
then
it
interpret
into
as sound. Yeah.
Yeah, you can listen to that stuff. You can listen to the pulsars and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this sunspot is there, and they got a really nice film of it, and it's like coming around, and there it is. And, you know, it's a big hole in the sun. And this happens, but
there's a little black hole in the sun today.
The police. Yeah. I'm telling you, Amazon, Andy Summers documentary that he made, all about the police and his whole career.
I'm going to have to watch it.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rented it. It was worth it. I just, in fact, gave it 4 stars. I liked it. If you like the police, you'll like. Andy Summers was a great guy. I mean, as far as musician, artist. So, what happened with this big sunspot is then they get mass ejections. They get solar flares and that.
Yeah.
So the sunspot caused a coronal mass ejection, which sounds really scary. That heads to Earth.
X flares or whatever they call them.
Yeah, coronal mass ejection.
Yeah.
And what that is, solar flares are like flares. You can actually see them. They flare out, and then they send all sorts of radiation and crap out our way and out to the universe. But a mass ejection is like, as I understand it, it's this ejection of material which forms this like ionic cloud or something, and then that cloud heads out.
Yeah.
Usually Earth way.
Yeah.
It comes to us. And so the result was over the weekend, and I looked outside late last night, but I didn't see anything, was, and I don't know if there was reports, but this is the stuff that hits the ionosphere, our upper atmosphere, and creates the northern lights, the aurora borealis. Yeah. The beauty, all the colors, because it's all the the material in the ionosphere gets charged, and then from this all this kind of radiation, luckily,
right.
This is why we have evolved on Earth. See, we've got this blanket around that doesn't kill us every time this happens.
Right.
This is a thing when we study other planets. If you don't have that blanket, that ionosphere, all of the magnetosphere and all that stuff that reject this.
Yeah, hello, Mars.
Yeah, you're not going to, evolve. Your genetics are going to be sliced, diced, and life doesn't work unless you're underground. So there's a whole thing about that.
Right, yeah.
Wow, I'm getting science. Welcome to Star Talk.
Star Talk.
Welcome to Cosmos.
Right.
But anyway, so the coronal, this thing shot out, and it takes flares, I guess, that pretty quick, but the mass ejection, because it's kind of this cloud, takes a few days.
Yeah.
So this thing happened on Thursday from the sun, so it takes a few days to kind of get to us. But they were kind of saying Sunday night, Monday.
Yeah.
One of the bigger little bit, and that's where I kind of go, oh, these are always interesting things, is electronics, satellites, stuff like that, because this is not necessarily so good for your electronics.
No.
And they were saying, too, if you're flying in a plane, potentially, and you're up in the sky, 30,000 feet, whatever it is, up in the sky, that it's potentially you could get exposed to some of this kind of radiation stuff a little bit more than you should. Now the satellites supposedly fly within kind of the protective layer, but it depends on how high the satellite is or whatever.
Right.
But we sometimes have GPSs and satellites and things get knocked out,
gets wonky,
or gets wonky, malfunctions, and then comes back. And oftentimes it's due to these kind of solar events that kind of wreak havoc.
I have a old friend of mine lives in now he lives in Michigan, up by Detroit,
up Michigan way,
Ann Arbor, Chelsea, Michigan, and he posted on Facebook last night about the upcoming Aurora Borealis and stuff, and he was going to go out and take a look at it because, up in Michigan, they can,
they're pretty north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was gonna report. I'm gonna get a report back on that.
Yeah.
See how it was.
Well, they were talking about it here in the Pacific Northwest, which is unusual.
Yeah.
So, because it's called the Northern Lights, it's in the northern territories up there,
You must be in northern latitudes.
Yeah, Alaska, up in the Canadian Northern Territories, northmost parts of the United States, because that's, where the way the
arc
is positioned in the atmosphere, and I don't remember the explanation, but it just is. That's where you're going to see it the most, because that's where it hits the most. Other places closer down the equator and stuff, no.
Yeah.
I think it's thicker, even the equator, if you think about it, because of the way the Earth rotates and all that. That's part of the deal. But they were talking about Pacific Northwest, which I thought was in there. Portland, probably not so much.
No.
But I think they were talking a little bit about Washington. And, of course, then you have to get out. The problem with Portland, you need to get out of what's called the light pollution. Right. So you got to be out somewhere where you can see the stars really clearly, where there's not a lot of light, all the light from the city that's interfering with.
Long time ago now, I'm going to say probably circa maybe 2000, 2001, which is old now, right? Mm-hmm. But I remember I used to live out in Forest Grove, and I remember in Forest Grove going out. I remember one time we were like, I forgot to get the mail during the day. I'm gonna go out and mail at night, and I go walking out there and happen to look up, and by God, there was some Northern Lights going on. And because Forest Grove's away from the city, and then when at night it's dark and especially if you live out a little bit outside of Forest Grove, where you don't have so much that light pollution. I remember looking up in the sky and actually seeing a little bit of the Aurora Borealis, and like, wow, that's cool. You ain't gonna see that in Oak Grove, And but it was kind of one of those, that's cool.
Otherwise known as the time Jason dropped some acid.
Right. But that's another thing.
It's in Forest Grove. Hey, is that the Northern Lights?
Went to like a party at Pacific, you know. Next thing you know, the pretty lights, man.
Exactly. No, yeah. I mean, I think you can see stuff sometimes at various locations, but the main place is up there in the north where it's a regular occurrence, and people go up there. I remember being told once. I don't think I've seen it. I don't think
it's a trip. All
the time.
It really is a trip.
Well, I have been told that if you go up to the places like up in Canada where you really go see the Northern Lights, it's a life-changing experience.
Yeah, it's like a whole symphony going on up there, and
the stuff's just like all around you. It's like a Steven Spielberg directed this thing. You know, you're waiting for you know. I mean, you're really like. I've been told it's really something else. Like it is like the acid trip without the acid.
Yeah, because all I saw was kind of like a dimmish sort of dancing light, and enough to know where that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. I can't imagine like being up somewhere in like the Yukon or up in like Fairbanks, Alaska.
You're surrounded.
Yeah. And it's all right there. And
that's what I'm told. It's just like you're surrounded, and it's just something crazy.
Yeah.
Because everything is just all buzzing with
everything's going.
You know, energy. Lots of energy out there in the universe.
That's right.
I mean, we're wrapping up here. There's been several news stories.
Yeah.
Do we even want to talk about?
Let's say politics for Wednesday.
Well, I was gonna. Yeah.
There's kind of a cool story about Daniel Radcliffe, though, the guy who played Harry Potter.
I don't know.
Here's the headline. You ready for this? Daniel Radcliffe helps rescue tourists slashed and faced by robbers. He actually helped rescue a guy. How'd you like to write?
That's horrible, first of all, but still.
Right. But you're like
good.
Unimaginable crap's going on. You're the tourist, you know. You're like, oh my God, I'm getting assaulted. And you're like, oh, this hurts. Hey, it's Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or if you're the slasher, you know, I am going to get, you know, I need meth or whatever. Like, oh, geez.
Harry Potter. I like the idea that Harry Potter saved them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, did he have the stick?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What was that when what was that one off the first one?
Horrible thing about the slashing, though.
What was that one that, they're always talking about in the movie? They had the wand there. And
it's a wand, right? It's the Harry Potter wand.
Oculus. I wonder if you did that.
I'm not. I've said before, I'm not. It's not I don't hate Harry Potter. I think it's just it wasn't my jam.
Wasn't your jam?
Well, I did a little of the Harry Potter movies and stuff, family based, because that was, the thing. But it was like...
I read the books.
Yeah. You know what? I was more Wizards of Waverly Place.
Oh, interesting. Disney.
Wizards and comedy.
Right.
And Tim Conway.
You have a kid when you're making... Dom DeLuise's kid.
Yeah. And
Selena Gomez.
The lovely Selena Gomez. Yeah. You bet. I liked that show.
Yeah, that was a cool.
And that was Wizards, and it was a sitcom.
Operating a deli.
Yeah.
In Grand Central or whatever.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. Great show. Great cast.
Yeah.
Comedy.
Oh, the mom was hot.
You gotta go there, don't you?
I know. But I like Potter because...
you should have...
I liked Potter because... the books... It was like a... I mean, no one talked about wizards, and you had Merlin and stuff.
Well, I just like look, I grew up on the Bewitched, right? Witches. Suburban comedy. What could go wrong? 2 Darrens, not just one.
Right, Dick York, Dick Sargent.
Never explained.
And this is going to come out bad, and it's all about context.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say it's a tale of 2 dicks.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
So, if it's in context, it sounds, okay, yeah. If it's out of context, oops.
I think I saw this last night, and I stumbled across this because I was looking at movie trailers and things after the Twin Peaks. So I think I actually already saw this, but you said this morning, the Blade Runner trailer number 2. No, in remake town, Blade Runner 2 is coming out. Blade Runner 2049.
Right.
With Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And that one gal that I really like.
No Rutger Hauer, but not bad.
No. And also, what's her name from House of Cards? She's in
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright is also stars in it. I think she's the police captain, based on what I see in the trailer.
Yeah.
I think she's the, I remember the original guy. I think he passed a great character actor. You gotta go chase after the skin job, and come on, Decker. If you're not with us, you're the little people. I mean, great classic. Come on, Blade Runner. Classic.
Yeah. But, I gotta say, for a remake, at least from the second trailer it came out,
give it a shot.
It doesn't look too bad.
Here's my problem. I've been wanting to go see movies, but I haven't, and so I'm totally down on everything. Like I'm 0 for 0. You too?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's Wonder Woman.
No.
Great reviews.
I've heard it's just awesome. The wife loves it.
Gotta go see it.
Yeah.
Oh, she saw it?
Oh, yeah. She says it's just fantastic.
So I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet.
No, haven't seen
So that's on my list.
Yeah.
And of course, I know superheroes, but it's summer, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that looked good, and that's getting good stuff
pretty
too.
Decent.
And I am one of those people very, very disappointed in the Spider-Man movies. I think you said that first one with Tobey Hooper, that was entertaining, but Spider-Man, come on. I love Peter Parker. I love Spider-Man. I would read him in the comics each week. So I'm a big Spider-Man fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big Peter Parker fan. So give me a good Spider-Man, and this one looks good.
Right.
And it's doing well. So the two super movies are doing well. There's others too. I know. I'm not a super fan. The whole Alien one.
Yeah.
That I almost have to go see.
Yeah.
That's not doing so well. Yeah. It didn't look so good.
It's another Prometheus, right?
I just don't know what's going on over there. Yeah. So that one's where it's like, maybe I'll pick that up on cable or whatever.
Okay.
What's the other one the new Planet of the Apes movies.
That's another one that came out. That one
just came out this
over the weekend, and people are saying, "Wow!"
Yeah. I looked at the previews of that last night because I hadn't even seen the preview.
Right. I guess Woody Harrelson is just amazing in it.
He plays that.
Yeah. I guess he's pretty good.
He's going to be in the not next year's Star Wars movie. Woody Harrelson is in the Han Solo standalone movie.
Wow.
I think he plays Han Solo's mentor.
Really?
Woody Harrelson. Which, then I just want them to be at Cheers.
Right. Here comes Sam in there,
Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Ernie Pantuzzo.
And Han Solo's there. Diane.
See, that's the thing.
That would be we would just disrupt Hollywood. You think David Lynch disrupted Hollywood? Doc and Jason.
Yeah, we're disrupting.
We would turn the Han Solo standalone. I mean, if you think Kathleen Kennedy fired those Lego movie brothers quick, boy, would they? Okay, you guys are done. Heard your pitch. Bye. No, it's like Han Solo meets Cheers.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll work.
Yeah, but you got to have a cameo of Woody Harrelson with Juliet. Juliet Phillips? Yeah, from the...
Yeah. But anyway, that would be our Han Solo prequel. But they, the Lego movie guys, they're done with it. So now it's a Ron Howard film.
Nice.
Which means it'll have narration.
Right.
Don't you just want it, turn it into a Ron Howard film? What was that guy's name? The guy who was in Home Alone. Or did Ron narrated Arrested Development himself, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So it'd be
Yeah, I love
the interesting thing about Chewbacca is that a Wookiee is over 7.5 feet tall. And then somehow we work Michael Cera into it, and
next thing you
know, Han Solo prequel.
There you go.
Kathleen Kennedy's like, "Are you kidding me? Do I have to fire another director?"
Right. Throw in the Ewoks, next thing you know.
Dude, I did a deep dive.
Deep dive.
I did not know.
Yeah.
And I did a deep dive. There were 2 Ewok movies made. You think the Star Wars Christmas special was bad?
Holiday this is horrible,
special.
huh?
This was another one that, like George Lucas in some vault somewhere, but they're out there, and we will find them, and we will watch them. Ewok. They are Ewok Adventures. Yeah. I didn't know. I watched this whole YouTube video where the guy talks about the Ewok Adventures, and they are so B-movie bad. Yeah. They are so bad. Like, he says the first one is actually, it's a kid's movie. Yeah. He says the first one's actually, he kind of works, but by the second one, you're like, woof, woof.
Yeah, I was never a fan of the Ewoks. I didn't trust them. I don't trust the Ewoks.
You know, I'm the one Star Wars fan that I was down with the Ewoks.
Were you? I wasn't. Because there was...
Yeah, I was.
Ewoks are duplicitous because
that's fine.
They're always look I'm that's like fine. But you know that just like Gremlins, dude. If you feed them after midnight, something's going wrong, right? The Ewoks have all I'm saying is Ewoks have a dark side to them.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Just like the Jedi are not duplicitous.
Well, I didn't say about Ewoks.
I know, but Ewoks. I mean, it's just they're cute. They eat your food.
Yeah, but
in the Forest of Endor, and then they they bash in like Imperial walkers and stuff.
Yeah,
could go wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on deep in the forest with them, but something's going on with them. I bet you there's like some really weird Ewok rituals going on that we don't know about.
Oh, and they get along with Wookiees too.
Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
But I bet you the Wookiee, if we could speak Chewbacca-ese, I'm sure Chewie is giving us the full disclosure on them, dude.
Yeah, I
trust those little blighters.
Embrace total Star Wars, and I know a lot of great big, heavy Star Wars fans. Yeah. Like I think they loved Return of the Jedi, except the Ewoks ruined it for them.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
cute and fluffy.
This isn't 2001: A Space Odyssey, folks.
Make them like the Tribbles at least.
Yeah,
when something's going wrong,
that was a thing.
Yeah, but man, when they overcreate, they're jamming up the systems.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, Star Wars has all sorts of abominable snowmen and all sorts of crap, for God's sake.
That's
you
true.
go to a bar and it's like, what the hell am I drinking with here?
Right. Who hasn't been there, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Bartles and James. Zima.
That's ruined many a poor boy's.
Oh. Yeah. Well... There's a lot more news.
There is.
But we don't have to get into it.
I love it.
Speaking of Star Wars characters, Ann Coulter got into it.
She went on some weird...
But we're not going to talk about that. That was interesting. And Han Solo movie and Star Wars. I know I'm missing something that popped up, but that's okay. Blade Runner. Oh, War of the Apes. That's,
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. The sequel looked... I mean, the trailer was, but it's getting good stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed the first two, the remake.
Yeah.
I think it's worked. Yeah. They've been taking it in a new direction, so it's all right. And here we're talking about remakes and not original movies like George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
So,
hey, one of my favorite shows would be literally we don't talk any news, and at the very end, just says, oh yeah, there's news. Google it. Bye, and that's it. Jason,
with that is pretty much Coffee with Curmudgeons that describes the show.
Right, yeah.
Have a good Monday, everybody. Bye-bye.